Well, I am just thrilled to be here with Allie Walker.
What's happening?
I mean, we got our hacking done right away.
Yeah, coughed up a loogie or two.
It's so disgusting, but I have this hacking issue that I feel like every single time before I do a podcast, I got to hack it up. And it's like, okay, it's like a thing. And I've never met someone to join in with me before.
Well, here we are, best friends right off the jump because
I feel like it just really took us to the next level right away. What do you think?
Well, I think being singers too, you know when your voice is like in the prime and when you know you've got stuff stuck in there.
Yes.
And the worst is on stage. Sometimes I'll take a puffer before I go on stage, which is actually I've learned is the worst thing.
What's a puffer?
Like a albuterol, like when you have asthma.
Oh, okay.
And you like spray, it's like a steroid in your throat.
Okay.
To help you open your airways.
Okay.
And it actually gets all your mucus going. So I'm hacking on stage while
Is
trying
that
to
the
sing.
worst?
It doesn't work. Yeah. So I can't take that.
What do you do when a hack attack comes on stage?
My husband, who's my playback, he can talk in my ears. He's like, you need to take another shot of your puffer. Come to the side of the stage after the second song.
But now I know the puffer's the problem.
Yeah, the puffer's the problem. So I just went to the doctor. So this is not, I'm not throwing names out there, but I was hanging out with Shania Twain. And I was
like as a friend?
No, I opened for her and then
I saw that. And she like learned your song on stage and y'all did like 3-part harmony.
Crazy. Like best moment of my life so far, for sure.
Which we'll circle back to the moment, but then let's talk about the hanging out.
Yeah, so we were hanging out.
How do you hang out with Shania Twain?
Well, she was on a 3-run date at this festival in Newfoundland, which is like my family lives there. So it was kind of like
Canada?
a hometown. Yeah.
Okay,
Canada.
so you're from Canada.
Yes, from Canada.
Okay.
And I got to meet her on stage because I play with her. And then
how'd you get that opening spot? Just because you're a badass? Oh, you were nominated for like Canadian Artist of the Year. I mean, you got stuff going on.
All the Canadians.
You were the one female Canadian.
This was my first nomination ever, and I was actually really surprised that I got it. So,
and you're nominated for Female Artist of the Year.
Yeah, which like
awesome.
I thought maybe I would get like new artist or something, but that
straight
was cool.
to the top.
But hanging out with Shania, I was like, this is my moment to ask her random shit.
And you did.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
So I asked her, because she's a fellow Canadian, I asked her about like her business manager. Is it a Canadian or is it an American? Because they need to know all the tax laws for both countries. And
what is it?
She's like, you need a Canadian.
Okay.
So I did actually switch business managers from a Nashville
Take it from Shania
to a Canadian. Yeah. I literally listened to every single thing she told me
what
to do.
else? Can you share all the tea?
She told me to go on Singulair for asthma. So I did.
Okay.
Which is a medication for
Has it
asthma.
Helped?
I think so.
Well, Shania said so it must have.
And then I got my puffer, and then I got I'm on Zyrtec allergy pills.
Okay.
And acid reflux, Nexium.
Okay.
So I'm just taking all of these things. And then she told me like this whole thing about like not eating before your show, and she like lays in the dark in her hotel all day, and people just bring her like purified food, and I'm like, well, I don't have people.
Yeah.
And
well, you do have your husband.
I have my husband, but he has like 10 jobs on the road. He's not going to pureed.
Pureed food. So she only wants it like mushed up like applesauce style.
Yes. She does not chew food day of her show. Meanwhile, I'm like, I eat McDonald's for every meal when I'm on the road.
Why does she not choose food?
Because I just kick in her throat. Yeah, she doesn't want to hack.
She doesn't want to hack.
She knows her body, I guess. So I wrote it down, but I'm not at that point yet. Like she brings her own ninja with her.
Does she like do anything when she's laying in the dark? Like watch TV?
No, she dark like
meditation
music. Yeah,
all day.
How
do you do that all day?
I don't know. And I explained to her, I'm like, I'm at the point in my career where I'm flying in day of potentially, or I'm driving all morning and all night. I haven't slept for a week. Haven't showered and need to eat McDonald's. So I'm not at that point yet.
But like, how does one lay all day without going bananas?
Yeah.
Man, that's amazing. She's got this down to an art.
Shows where she rips around stage. Like she's running.
This like the rebirth of Shania, because I feel like she kind of went silent for a little while and then reemerged.
Yes.
And like, man, did she reemerge, like with incredible costumes. And I feel like she like cuts them herself backstage before. I've seen like documentaries or something where she's like, the costume will be, I could be wrong, but like she'll like get some scissors and like change it up a little bit. And like,
I've definitely watched all her documentaries and read her book. And because she's Canadian, I just know everything about her. And she was like she was like explaining like, some stuff about her past life. I'm like, I know.
I know. You don't have to tell me.
I know everything about you, but thanks.
So y'all like hung out.
Yeah.
Was she
until
awesome?
like 4 a.m.
So like how many hours?
Well, it was like after the show, so like midnight to 4-ish.
And she was just chatting with you?
Yeah, and she was so chill. She drank a whole bottle of champagne, and I was just sipping.
Is she living her
my
best
wine.
life these days?
Yeah,
I feel like she's really in her best stride.
she's so cool, and she like swore, and she was like super Canadian and like, Canadian hillbilly vibes, which is what I am. So
Oh, did y'all like get numbers?
no,
Okay.
but she was like, "I'll send you this stuff." I'm like, "How are you going to send me that stuff?" Let's be honest.
Gosh, that's so cool because
Yeah.
a lot of times like megastars like that don't hang out
No.
with people that like are opening for them.
And I've never. Yes, I usually don't even get to meet the person. That I'm
Yeah,
opening
sometimes you don't
for.
even meet them.
And the fact, because actually, so I made that happen because
Oh, go girl.
I heard that she doesn't meet openers sometimes, and her meet and greets are not very big.
Okay.
So I was like, how can I meet Shania? I'm literally opening for the queen, and I need to meet her. So this is a side note, but I play the bagpipes.
Oh, I know. And I got to. I have so many questions about the bagpipes.
So I was like, other than that, like, she's not going to care who I am. So what if I played bagpipes to one of her songs?
So you learned it?
So that morning in the hotel, I learned Any Man of Mine on bagpipes. I have like my electric bagpipe. So I sent her manager a video of me playing it, and she was like, yeah, she loves it. So Shania approved. And then when I was about to go on stage with her, I was like, do you guys play it in the same key? Like, I need to make, they're like, no, you're not really going to play it. Like, she's just going to talk to you and you'll play it for like 2 seconds. You're not going to play with the band.
Okay.
I had in-ears, but I didn't hear the count in of them actually joining me. So I did the beginning of Any Man of Mine, and then the whole band came in a different key because I did an album key. And so she talked to me in my ear, and she's like, that's the wrong key. Go figure out what key we're in.
Shania did?
Yeah. And I was like, I specifically asked if you guys played it in this key. And they were like, no, don't worry about it. Anyways, I ran backstage, and this
In the middle of the performance?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I played like the intro because it goes dun, 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 and then it goes in, and then everyone came in the wrong
Okay.
key, obviously. And then so I went to the back, and so I had to like tell the playback guy, or the monitor guy, I'm like, make sure it's not out front because I need to play this thing back here and figure out what key.
So you're figuring it out while it's already going on?
And then the key it modulates in the bridge. So anyways,
Did
I
you pull
figured
it
it
together?
out. I was like,
Was it
this
weird
is
when you
my
ran off
moment.
stage?
no.
Were you just like
Well,
casually
the crowd
left?
might have thought it was weird, yeah. But I was like, this is my moment. I got to figure this out. And so I ran back out there once I figured it out. And it was just at the very end when they were doing that lick again. And then I was like, okay, that was cool. And then she was like, let's do a duet. I'm like,
Just like on the
yeah,
spot?
let's just write a duet. Like, I'm already nervous as heck up here.
On stage in front of
Yeah.
like how many people are there?
It's a festival, so tens of thousands, 40, I don't know.
And she wants to just do a duet with you
Yeah,
on
and
stage.
thankfully, in my head, I was like, well, my only bagpipe song is this one song called The Whiskey's Gone. And it's really easy. It's repetitive. When all the whiskey's gone, whiskey's gone, whiskey's gone. And so she got it right away and was doing harmony
Yeah.
with me on the first take before she had ever heard
And
it.
y'all are working it on stage, and then she pulls her backup singer in
Mhm.
also. And like you, Shania, and another backup singer are singing all.
Lindsay L.
Okay, are singing
Yeah.
all. That's Lindsay L. Are singing all this together on the spot.
Yeah, and then she wanted to do it 4 times. So we did the whole chorus 4 times.
Did the audience just love that? I mean, how
I
fun!
guess. And it's an East Coast place, and they're not that bagpipes are normal really anywhere, but it's kind of normal there. So they probably thought it was cool.
But like, props to Shania for being that adventurous on stage.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
know,
know.
because
She's
like,
so
what if it would have
spontaneous.
bombed? She just knew it wouldn't.
I guess. I'm glad I pulled that out because there's no way I could have written a song under that pressure.
So she wanted to. If you didn't have one, would y'all just try to write one?
I guess.
Oh my gosh,
She said, let's do a duet. Like, how do we just come up with a duet?
that's amazing.
I know. Anyways, one of the pieces of advice that she gave me after that too was like, because I just moved to Nashville a year ago, she's like, make sure you don't fall into, sounding like everybody else. There's a reason why you play the bagpipes. There's a reason why you're from the East Coast. Like, keep those roots, but obviously keep it commercial too. But so like that was a really big piece of advice that she gave me too, knowing that I played the bagpipes. So now I'm like the bagpipe queen.
Why do you play the bagpipes, which is so cool?
Well, where I'm from, it's pretty normal. Prince Edward Island.
People play the bagpipes there.
A lot of people I know play bagpipes, but there's a whole facility called the College of Piping, And it's not really a college. It's like an extracurricular place.
Okay.
And my mom was the accountant there.
Okay.
And so I started like step dancing and Highland dancing and drumming. And
Do you work that into your performances? Please say yes.
I don't, but I did step dance in the music video for that bagpipe song.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's a little gem you have in your back pocket.
It's different.
I love that.
But like I was going to be a full bagpiper for like my whole life. Like I got a scholarship to the University of Arkansas for bagpiping, but I didn't because I was like, I don't think I can do this like as a career. And then I didn't touch them for like 10 years. And I was in a session here, writing session, and it came up that I played bagpipes, and the co-writer was like, we need to write a bagpipe song.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you write a bagpipe song that like people aren't going to totally make fun of and laugh at? But we did, and it's like my top streaming song, and people love it. It went viral like every time I posted about it. So now that was 2 years ago. I haven't had a bagpipe song since, but every time I play live, people are like, we want more bagpipes.
More bagpipes.
So my next single, and I'm recording it tonight right after this, is called Ride It Out, and that'll have bagpipes.
Ride It Out?
Ride It Out.
Okay.
And I'm doing a bunch of 90-minute sets this year, so we had to like obviously fill it with some stuff, and so we're doing like a 17-minute bagpipe medley.
Heck yes, you are.
So
add the dancing.
Oh, I don't know about the dancing.
No, Allie, seriously, you should add the dancing. You should show all your skills on the stage. Like, who's that guy, Benson Boone?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
What does he do?
He just did flips on stage because he can.
Oh, that's fair.
Like at the Grammys, like he just like ran off the piano and did a flip, and then he just did another flip while he was just like walking on stage because he can. Like, here's the thing: if you can do these things, you should just do them because it is so cool to see people who have secret skills. Like, you know, you're already a great singer, you're beautiful. Now you're busting out the bagpipes, and then you're gonna bust out your dancing. I mean,
I wouldn't
come
say
on.
It's beautiful dancing. It's step dance. It's very like regimented.
You should do like a little bit in the medley, just
and then bring people up on stage, and that'll help fill the 90 minutes.
Just do like a tiny moment of the dance.
Okay,
just keep it in mind. Shania did that in her "Don't Be Stupid." Remember when she does the dancing and the water's coming in? The music video, they all do the step dance. Maybe because she's from Canada.
Right.
See,
Okay.
Shania did it.
Okay.
Shania approved.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I will look into that 100%.
I want you to really look into this, Allie.
Okay, I will.
I don't want you to just forget about this, okay?
I will.
Okay, great. You know, I have a bad pipe story.
Oh, please tell.
It was a really bad one.
Oh, no.
So I was on The Amazing Race when, like 10 years ago, and we were in Ireland. I wonder which one does the bagpipes. I was such a blur.
Both of them do, but it would probably be like Glasgow or Edinburgh in Scotland.
Yes. Okay. Scotland. It was in Scotland. And the challenge was to play the bagpipes, and you had to walk around this whole room playing the bagpipes for 2 minutes, and you couldn't
Google that.
You couldn't let the music stop. But I had to breathe into something. I've noticed you weren't doing your mouth with it.
So I normally like that. The Highland bagpipes are the normal bagpipes, but I have an electric bagpipe, so I can like plug it in and be able to walk around the stage, and I can play it in any key. So I play like Thunderstruck and Crazy Train, and I play Any Man of Mine, and I do Devil Went Down to Georgia, and they're all different keys, and the bagpipe's only in one key, and it's usually not really in tune with like a band.
Okay.
So this one can change any key, and it doesn't have like the big drones, and you don't have to blow into it, because it like, how do you blow and sing at the same time?
Right. Okay. Well, that's great. Well, this one you had to blow into.
Yeah.
Some fun fact about bagpipes. There's a real thing about a jaw muscle. Like, my muscle in my jaw went out because like I was doing it,
Your lips.
going around, and I got like almost to the end, but then I like lost it almost to the end. I was like, no problem. It'll be no big deal, because the first time it was so easy, but I just like lost my breath at the end. Tried to do it again. My jaw went out.
I need to see this.
I had a full-blown meltdown because I was like, my jaw's not working. I cannot get my mouth to blow this freaking bagpipe anymore. I finally made it to the end. Like, I don't know how, because the more you do it, the more sore your jaw gets too.
And your lips will just not work.
Your lips stop working. Your whole mouth falls apart.
Yeah. When I was like at my prime of, I've been to Scotland at the World Championships. Like,
you're at the World Championship? So you're freaking good
I was
at bagpipe.
definitely going to like be a bagpiper.
Who knew that was a career goal? It's definitely going to be.
And I made really good money because I was always like piping, political leaders into buildings, or I was doing funerals or weddings, and you made good money.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. But I get that because I haven't blown into a bagpipe in years. And so I would be like you. Like you have to get your lungs going, and maybe I should do that. So
Something
I, like,
with the
have more-
jaw muscle though. My jaw's locked up.
Hmm.
I don't know why. Because when you blow for a long time, your jaw locks up. Apparently.
Where are we? I deal with these kind of jokes all the time, and I try not to be inappropriate when I talk about bagpipes.
It's really hard not to. But it was something.
You got lockjaw.
I got lockjaw hard, and I finally made it through. But I was like, "Dang!"
Yeah.
I wonder if you've ever had bagpipe lockjaw.
No, it's usually the lips. They go numb.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is great, Allie. I mean, this is some good stuff you got going on here.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, you got to do something to stand out these days. There's so
You
many
do.
people doing it. Anyone
Yeah.
can write a song and anybody can put it on social media.
I know.
So if I got to be the dang bagpiper, I'll be the bagpiper.
I mean, if you're a world champion, why would you not be?
yeah, fair.
Like, don't just like tuck a talent like that in your pocket and forget about it.
Well, I just didn't want to be like the bagpipe girl.
But why not?
But now I'm like, well, people want the bagpipe, so screw it.
yeah.
I'm the bagpipe
And
girl.
you also wear chaps.
I do wear chaps sometimes, yes.
I mean, you look great in chaps.
oh, thank you.
How'd you start doing chaps?
I was at, what's that bar where they wear chaps?
Don't know. I do not leave the house.
I was doing a gig in Kentucky with Whiskey Jam,
Okay.
and it was at this place where these girls wear chaps, and I was like, oh my God, I love
okay.
that.
What is it?
PBR.
PBR. Okay.
PBR.
I was gonna say cowboy ugly, but that's not existing.
Coyote.
Coyote ugly.
Yeah. But they looked really good on them. They did like the basically thong underneath, and I was like, I'll probably wear shorts. But I just love them, and then I bought them in like 5 different types of. But there's like cowboy chaps where like they wear them on horses.
Yeah.
But these are like motorcycle chaps.
Okay, so is it kind of like your thing?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out because that was for one song. I did it, and all the girls in the music.
Was it for
video.
Nashville?
Yeah.
Which is so good. And you wrote that with Walker Hayes?
Yes.
I can't get that one out of my head.
Oh gosh. Well, thank you.
Da-da-da-da, Nashville. I don't know all the
That-
words, but it's so hooky.
That one ruffled some feathers. For
Why?
Sure.
Because
I
you're
was-
goody goodies.
Well, and I say the F word.
I don't. Okay,
Yeah.
when does the F word
I
get dropped?
say fuck you. Whoops, Dolly Parton, my French.
Oh, well, you say that in the beginning though. Oh, Dolly Parton, my French.
Yes. And I also say what ass and shit maybe.
Okay, so you're just feeling it. You just wanted to drop it.
Yeah.
You're like needing to let everybody know.
And
Were you like feeling? What were
I
you
wanted
feeling?
to change those to be cleaner, but the head of the label was based out of New York City, and that's normal for like their type of music. He
Are you
does
with Sony?
mostly R&B records, yeah.
You're a Sony Records.
Like it's like records. It's called Records with Sony,
Well,
and they're
congrats.
based out of Nashville or
That's exciting.
New York. And he was like, "This is the one. This is the one that's gonna do it." So they put like their marketing behind it and hired influencers to do the dances and all that. And it was just I loved it, but it was like a little cray cray.
Does that make you feel a little nervous when like you're pushing yourself in that way? Like you're kind of like being a little,
Yeah, we went a
Edgy.
little softer after that because
you need to reel it back in.
I did reel it back in, and then like my last 2 songs were
So
slower
you were
songs.
in chaps dropping the F bomb. If you had only thrown the bagpipe in.
Dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bagpipe would have saved it maybe.
Yeah.
But that was the first time that I've gotten like hate.
Oh, people. What does
Yeah.
that feel like?
It actually didn't bother me as much as I thought it would,
Okay.
because like I don't care about anyone's opinion. But
Well, how'd you get there? Because that's like good self-worth. Way to have confidence.
I think I was born with it. I don't know. I still care about like making a good impression on people, but I for some reason don't care what people think.
Okay. Really?
Just as a
Because-
kid, like I had cornrows and dreadlocks as a kid, or like inappropriate now, but had all of like had a buzz cut. I had I was just not a cute kid, and I didn't care.
But you're such a gorgeous woman.
Well, thanks. I was chubby and not cute, but like it just made me confident, I guess.
Okay.
Until I came into myself.
When did that
and
happen?
then I discovered a tanning bed and a hair salon.
What age was that?
I don't know, junior high maybe, and like boys and.
But you got
girlfriends.
married young and fell in love young, right?
Yeah, I had met my husband when I was 20. which
Okay.
is
And is he
14
older than
years
you?
ago. Yeah, he's 12 years older than me. So when I
Okay,
met
so he
him,
was 32.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he had just retired from being a touring drummer.
Okay.
And I had just moved from Prince Edward Island to Toronto, which is Canada's biggest city,
Okay.
to have like more opportunities in music. And he had always been like a hired guy and wanted to be a part of some kind of thing from the ground up. He didn't realize ground up was going to be like 15 years, but here
marriage.
we are.
Lucky him.
Yeah. He's been like the biggest asset of my career, basically.
How so?
Like making me not quit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So he like helps you stay on focus.
Now
and
it's
not
like
get discouraged.
Not at all. Yeah, because I've been with him and doing this for 15 years, that there has been so many points where I'm like, I am not good enough, or I shouldn't be doing this, or why hasn't this happened for me yet? And he always, it's, once a month takes me into that hole of, you're great, all positive things. And he has so many things, like structured thing. He's like, he makes me do vision boards. He makes me, be very business minded and project management minded. So he's just been an asset for everything. And now he's my tour manager.
That's great.
And
well, is that great or is that hard?
It's been different.
Okay. Because that's a lot of together time. And then he's in charge of you on the road ish, kind of.
Yeah.
So what is that dynamic?
So it's been the last year, and it's been me and him forever only. Like, I've never had a manager, I've never had a label, never had any other team member. And this last year I met my manager, and he was based in Nashville. And so we moved to Nashville, have a brand new manager, have a whole management team, have a label, have a publishing company, have new booking agents.
Did the manager get you the label, the publishing and all that?
Yeah.
So the manager's been great.
Oh, he's amazing.
Okay. Can we say who the manager is?
Yeah.
Is it a secret?
His name's Brad Turcott.
Okay.
He was always a label guy. He worked at Big Machine. He was Taylor Swift's international girl guy and Universal, whatever. But he used to own a label back in the day and used to manage, and he never thought he would get back into it. But I went to the Canadian Country Music Awards.
Where you're nominated for Best
I
Female
wasn't
Artist?
that time.
Okay.
I was an absolute nobody.
Okay.
And I had been going to these awards, and there's like seminars and stuff where you go and meet people, whatever. And I was like, I don't want to go this year because you got to pay for your flight across Canada. You got a hotel. You got to pay for these seminars.
Expensive.
It's so expensive for me to just like chat with people.
Yeah.
But I was like, I got to go. You got to keep your face in front of people. And I met him. I signed up for like an international mentor, 30 minutes in a boardroom. And I gave him my pitch, basically, like expecting nothing out of it. He had no idea who I was. And he was like, why hasn't anybody, like, there must be something wrong with you. Like, why? I'm like, I don't know, bro. I am like banging my head against the wall here in Canada. Nobody gives a shit about me. I've got more followers than these people. I got more streams than these people. I'm checking all the boxes, but no one cares and no one is noticing. And so he, did his due diligence that afternoon and talked to everybody in the industry that was there. And they're like, no, we love Allie. We didn't know that she didn't have a team because I have all these things that I've done myself. So he like scooped me up. He found me later that night and was like, I want to be your manager.
Wow.
And I just needed that one person to open the door for me.
Yes.
So we kind of went to every label in town, and records felt like the right fit. And Sony Pub was like automatically the right fit. Everyone at Sony Pub just felt like a family. And that has been like the biggest thing I'm proud of is getting a publishing deal, because I love writing, and them hooking me up with like the most incredible writers is incredible. So this last year has been like the biggest transition of my entire life.
Tell me why.
Moving here, my husband having a new role. He quit his corporate job that he's been supporting us for the last 15 years.
And what was he in corporate?
So he started as a technician for a telecommunications company after he, stopped being a drummer. So he would be like the person that comes and puts internet into your house.
Okay.
And then he just like kept moving up and was a project manager with another telecommunications company.
Okay, so he quit it, hung it up to be the tour manager.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just to come down here and support me, because he couldn't work down here legally. Okay. So I got my visa, and then he came and he's on my visa as my tour manager. And he does like my playback. He does all my merch. He's now appointed my assistant as well, because I'm like, I need you to do other things as well.
He better remember it too, right? Yeah. Where's my coffee?
Yeah, literally.
When I wake up.
It's more like release schedules, like building it into Monday.com and making sure that we're like doing everything and stuff like that.
Okay. Has he liked his new role?
Yes, but we have butted heads because we're also a whole new live rig where we're doing new tracks and new songs and new transitions, and he's learning all the stuff with Abletons and the tracks and all, like it's a whole new world, and us getting a whole new bunch of gear. So he's been overwhelmed. So I have to remind him, like, do you like this? Because if you don't, I don't want you to be doing this.
Yeah.
But he loves it. It's a lot. When a show day, he's got to do the merch and the playback and the sound check and the advancing and making sure I'm eating and I'm, fed and I've got my glass of wine before the show. So he does everything.
That's amazing.
It's nice to have somebody because I can't imagine how much I would pay somebody to do that.
Oh my God. Right.
Yeah.
Truly. Well, that works out.
Yeah, it's good. So we're finally getting our groove. Like last year, it was like everything all at once. Sign with the label, sign with that, new shows. And this year, it's like we're doing a lot of shows in America for the first time. And we're going over to UK and Australia and all that. So now it's like enjoy. I said, let's enjoy this year because last year we were like nuts.
So did the new manager get all this going for you? Is that
yes.
what? And is that what kind of got you noticed back in Canada to get nominated for Canadian Female Artist of the Year?
Yeah. So
Brad, great man. I mean, he's been awesome.
He's amazing, and he's like a little trio with my husband and I. Like we're all best friends.
That's awesome.
We love when he comes out on the road and we just hang out together.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we love it. And I mean, I thought maybe So it's like the CCMA is probably like all the other awards, but you like need people to submit you, and then it's just industry people that vote for it. And so I told like my fellow comrades, I'm like, don't vote for me this year because my Canadian label said, I'm not going to be a priority this year and it's not my year. So I was like, don't vote for me for anything. Just submit me for bagpipes. So like a utility player of the year. And so when he called me, he was like, congrats. I was like, oh, did I get a nomination for bagpipes? And he was like, no. Female Artist of the Year. And I was like, whoa, that's nuts. Yeah. Against like Mackenzie Porter and Danielle Towns and Madeline Merlot. So
Dang.
They had no idea who I was, those girls. And I had been fans of them for, a decade, 15 years. And then this random little me pops up and they're like,
it was your time.
This girl?
All the stars aligned.
Yeah. Obviously I didn't win, but.
Because you said this, you were like, you've been in the music business for 15 years, but like not 1 year was worth documenting until 2024. You put that on one of your posts. But so it's like everything happened all at once. You really had not much going before then. Did Shania happen last year? Did all that happen last year?
Yeah. I didn't have a booking agent, so I wasn't doing any good shows. Like any shows that I was booking, I booked Cavendish Beach Music Festival, which is a huge festival in Canada, and I booked Boots and Hearts by myself, but you can't book a lot of stuff by yourself. Obviously people always want that third party validation that you're worth booking. So I had just got that. I got basically that Canadian booking agent the day that Brad signed on because I'd already been working them. Mm-hmm. They just needed to know that it wasn't just me on my team. So yeah, I had a lot of Canadian gigs last year, and I checked off a lot of like big festivals that I always wanted to play.
So how is it when your dreams become reality? How does it feel? Is it as good as you hoped it'd be? Is it better?
It's exactly what I thought because I've lived in my mind in this moment.
Are you a big visualizer?
Yeah.
Well, man, you do you manifest boards and vision boards.
Vision boards, and I have like an Excel vision board too, so that I can see like right on paper like all the things. So like, I don't know.
What's on the vision board for this year? Enjoying.
Oh my God, there's so many things.
Okay, what are some of them?
Well, there's things like last year, I always wanted to be in Music Row magazine.
Okay.
So then I got to tick that off. And like, I've always wanted to be on the Bobby Bones podcast. I want to at least walk a red carpet for like, a CMA or ACM or something.
I'm sure that will happen this year.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But there's so many like little things like that, like be on Ward Gunther's show on Apple.
Oh yeah,
like
Maddie used to work for Ward.
Oh, wow.
And Whiskey Jam.
Nice. I've done Whiskey Jam a bunch, so it all. And big main one is Sirius XM the highway. I've never been on the highway, so
that's coming.
I'd like to be on the horizon and then a highway find.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's just so many things. I have never been on an actual tour. So I have all these one-off like fly out dates, but I've never like opened for somebody on a long length of time.
Okay, so that's on the vision board.
That's on the
anyone
vision
in
board.
particular that you would love to open for?
Oh, like I guess Lainey, Morgan, Bailey. I like Bro Country. I love like Jason Aldean or Luke Bryan.
Nice.
Ella Langley.
Oh,
love Ella.
She's badass.
There's not a lot of people like kind of in my vein that are females, so I don't know who I would really picture kind of for female, but Avril Lavigne.
Heck yeah.
if she did like a country album and then
That would
toured
be
it.
fun.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Oh man. Okay, so I want to know, how did you get hooked up with Gretchen Wilson, First Time Living, the song that you have out? And is this a true story for you? Because I heard this song and it made me cry.
Aww.
Like, it was like really emotional, because it's basically, kind of tell us the premise of this song, because I feel like this is a very touching song, and Gretchen was like, I have never had a song written that I related to so much, that
Yeah.
felt like it told her story, which is crazy because she's such a great songwriter.
I know. Yeah, and the biggest pat on my back I've ever gotten was when I was at Sony Pub in Nashville, and I was showing them the finished song, and Rusty, the president there, he was like, you need to pat yourself on the back, because it's very hard to do a concept for a song that's never been done or not been done 100 times. So that was like the first time I'm like, maybe I am a real songwriter, even though I've been writing forever. You know, we all have imposter syndrome. But I just had the title. I'm a big titles gal, so I have a million titles in my phone, but I had First Time Living. And normally when you write songs, as you know, like there's a track person in the room. And I usually don't, I want there to be a track person in the room. But this time it was like at Sony Publishing in one of their little closets basically, and it was just us three girls. And
I love Whitney Duncan, by the
Yeah,
way. You
I
heard of
never
Whitney
met-
Dun- She's
met
so
Whitney.
great.
she was due like basically that day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And Kat Higgins, she's a fellow Canadian. I hadn't written with her in like 10 years. And we were all just talking about like parents and how we all grew up differently and how we all view our parents in different ways, or how as a child we were to our parents. And we just started writing this song, and it was all organic, like just on guitar. So I went home and I had just like a voice note. And I am a perfectionist in a way that I would never put something online that like I had just written, because I feel like if I sang it a million times it'd be better. But something about that song, I knew it was different. So I put it up on social media right away, and people loved it, and my manager loved it. So the second verse was actually completely different. So the song is based on forgiving your parent for making mistakes along the way. And just like giving them grace, because it was their first time living, literally. Like, they're not going to be perfect and they might mess you up a little bit. But if you were in their shoes, imagine it could have been way harder than you even imagine what they were going through at that time. So the second verse was just about like a boyfriend and giving your boyfriend grace for, you know, being a bad boyfriend because you were young. And that was fine. But when I sent the scratch vocal or whatever to my manager, Brad, he thought it was about giving a child grace for the child like messing up and not making the right decisions. And I was like, oh wow, that's way better. So I rewrote the second verse to be from the mother, and then the verse one was about from the kid. And then I got back on a Zoom with Kat and Whitney, and we figured it all out. And then I was like, well, this obviously needs to be a duo. Like, I don't want to be the mom and the child. So we were like, who could be my mom age wise? Like Reba, Shania, Gretchen. And so we just sent it to Gretchen, and she like replied the same day. She said she was bawling, and she sent it to her mom, and she resonates with it because her mom had her really young, and I'm sure she had to give her mom a lot of grace for not knowing how to be a, like, she was 16. Of course you don't know how to be a mom at 16. And then she also has a daughter, and the first line of the chorus is, don't we all need a little grace? And her daughter's name is Grace. So then she probably was bawling because of that too.
Oh my gosh. So is this a true story for you? Did you have some forgiving to do to your parents?
I mean, my parents were incredible.
Okay, because you also have some really funny play on titles. I was listening to your demo sessions, and you have one called Pull Out and Pray. One Night Stand, Houston, Another Problem, but Pull Out and the Pray sounded like,
I know.
Like,
Did
I was
you
like,
listen to it?
Yes. And that one was a heart wrencher, but because it's not about sex, it's about your mom.
Well, it's about,
but it's about your mom.
No, it would be like me as a narrator. Pull Out and Pray, if you guys don't know what that is. I actually wanted it to have double meaning of like, you got pregnant because you did the Pull Out and Pray method.
Oh, okay.
And it was with the wrong guy, and he ended up being an abuser.
And so now you have to pull out of the house,
out of the driveway with your child, and never look back.
Oh, Allie. I mean, that is heavy.
It is really heavy.
It's so good though. I was like, dang. I mean, your songs are getting me all emotional.
I'll be honest, I definitely pull because I don't have kids, and you know, I've been in the same relationship forever. I have to pull from other places. first time living, I definitely pulled from experiences with my parents. They were amazing, but no parent is literally perfect. And they're like, I'm never going to tell them what they did that like messed me up in certain ways, but I've had to like learn how to overcome it. But that song, First Time Living was heavily inspired by my sister.
Why
So
is that?
my sister was a hard teen for my parents to take care of. And she got pregnant really young. And my parents always said, when you have kids, you're going to know what you put us through. And then, of course, she has 4 kids now. So she knows exactly what she put my parents through. So it was inspired by that, too. Yeah.
What does your sister think about the song?
She loved it. That was the first song. I mean, when we're in a group text, she replies like 1 every million texts because she's got
4
kids. And then her husband now also has 4 kids. So there's
They
like
have 8 kids?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
crazy life. And
How old are the kids?
she got like twins. Oh,
She has twins?
yeah, twins. And then I think like 10, 12, 18.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Crazy. But that was one that she actually replied to in the group chat and said, wow, I love this. So I knew it was good.
And then you played it for your mom, like on the couch.
Yeah, I know.
How was that?
Well, that was hard.
I mean, that's a heavy, that's a moment right there.
I know. That was really hard. Like, and I'm such a crier that like I just had to separate myself and think about like grandma's panties in that point. So that I don't cry, you know? I'm going to play it for the first time at a show this weekend. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay. Where are you playing?
Portland, Oregon.
Love Oregon.
Yeah. I'm pumped. I've never been.
So you're just like living your best life right now.
Yeah. And I'm like, this year I really want to enjoy it all. So like I just played in Park City and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to book my flight later so that I can actually go snowboarding.
Yeah.
Or like we're going to Berlin and Glasgow and London. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to book an extra day between this so that I can go see a castle or go like.
Actually, like have a little enjoy the scenery.
Yeah, because when you're on tour, like you don't get to do that. You're just eating from truck stops and
Right.
tired.
Yeah.
So if I can kind of enjoy it, because not that I'm like a pessimist or whatever it's called, but I'm like, you never know if it's going to last forever. So I want to enjoy like these moments.
Right. Okay. So if it all ended tomorrow,
Yeah.
would you go to bagpiping?
No, I wouldn't.
We've moved on from that.
We've moved on from that.
You would not be a professional bagpiper anymore?
No, I think that's past for me.
Do you think you'll stay in America? Like, do you like living here? What's the difference between here and Canada?
Oh my God. It's everything I've ever wanted it to be.
Really?
So like growing up, I watched The Hills and Laguna Beach and Friday Night Lights. And as a Canadian growing up in a really small place, I just always wanted to be American.
You did?
Always. It was like the American dream as a Canadian. So that's why I moved to Toronto, because it was the closest thing I could legally go to that would be like New York City. And when I moved here, and just like having the food, or like just there's so many, it's so America. Like it's exactly what I thought America would be like. I mean, I've been coming here for 13 years, but to actually live here, like it just feels like it's where I'm supposed to be and like what I've been waiting for forever.
Really?
Yeah.
Was
Love
it easy to like integrate and make friends? Was that hard? How do you do that?
I knew a lot of people here already, and
Okay.
I feel bad, but I don't have time for friends.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel
And
so.
you're married to your husband, and y'all are like a little partnership.
Yeah, I've got
It's
my
not
dogs.
like you're lonely.
Yeah,
You got
my
doodles, right?
2 doodles. Yeah,
Love a
they're
doodle.
so sweet.
I mean,
That's the hardest part. Like I can't wait till I get to tour bus status so that I can bring the doggies with us, because like dropping them off at the sitters every weekend is sad and costly. But yeah, no, the hardest thing was to get somewhere to live, because when you move here, it takes like a year to build credit. So I'm like not even in the system at all. So I would apply for these houses on Zillow to rent, and it would just show up as like I don't exist. And it's like what comes first, the chicken or the egg, because you need like your license, but you also need your social security number. But you can't get your license without a social security. You can't get this without a bill, and you can't get a bill without somewhere to live.
Oh my God.
You can't get a cell phone without credit. So it's like it was all of these things of I wish I could write a whole like book about it so that people like a little
honestly, and
how to
maybe
yeah
honestly.
The first step is to get a working visa, and that's hard to get unless you have like someone signing for you that says they're gonna
And your manager was able
help
to do
deport you. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So he's got to pay for the bus ticket if I get deported.
Okay, but you're legal. You got the visa.
I'm legal
You're in.
for 3 years, so I'm
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I'll go back to Canada. I have property in Canada that we're like going to build on later in life. It's like 5 acres on the top of a mountain in the middle of nowhere. So
Okay.
that's like our dream place later in life. But I would like a ranch here. We obviously land for my doggies to run around.
I love that.
That's the goal for Nashville. And like the end goal for me is California.
Okay.
Like beach house in the OC, because I'm going back to
Laguna Beach really shaped your life.
it. Shaped my life.
I mean, you love Kristen Cavallari. Have you met her yet?
No, I haven't.
What are you going to do when you meet her?
I don't know. I haven't seen her around.
Oh, and
yet.
you know Steven is here too.
Really?
Steven from the Hills.
I'd love to meet Lauren.
Well,
I loved Whitney.
Listen, if you can go. Wait, no, Whaler. What's his last name? Whaler. I think his name's not Steven. The one who
Bobby.
no, he was kind of like rebellious on the show.
Yeah.
He wasn't Steven, and he wasn't
I know.
I don't know
I
these
don't
people.
know. I have a memory of literally a fish.
Ashley Whaler is a hairstylist, though, who's amazing, and she's married to him on
Oh,
the
okay.
Hills. So there's your in, and you
Okay, I'll
got
look
great
it-
blonde hair if you need a
I'll look
stylist.
it up. I'm
You
like
could-
working myself into my dream life for when I was 14.
I know, literally. Okay, so the Hills are why you want to go to California.
Yeah, I've always wanted a house in the OC. But I also watch like all trash TV.
You love trash TV because you said your song Creek was inspired by
Love Island.
Love Island.
Yeah. I watch it all. Real Housewives, anything Bravo gives me or Peacock, and
What does it
Love
do for your
Island.
soul when you watch it?
makes me realize I'm a little more normal.
I hear people say that all the time. It's just
My
like,
husband hates it. He's like, it's so negative. All I hear is them cackling at each other.
is he very positive? It sounds like he or like trying to be positive. Like,
Yeah, I guess.
well, he's making you do
he's
vision boards and
encouraging, very encouraging.
stuff. Okay.
I wouldn't say he's negative. No, not at all. But he hates me watching negative TV. But it's a way for me to just not think about life.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm the type of person that never has silence, and I just have that in the background, like while I'm doing my makeup or hair.
Always.
But the Real Housewives of the OC or Beverly Hills, I'm like, yeah, I want that life.
Not the actual life, just like the house life.
The house,
Yeah.
house,
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the water.
Yeah. Okay.
And like I grew up on an island, and we had beaches, and it was on the ocean, so that's the dream too. But where I'm from, it's nice like 2 months of the year.
And where are you from?
Prince Edward Island.
Prince Edward Island.
Yeah.
I've never been to Canada.
It's like it's the Cape Cod, Maine of Canada. So
Okay.
it's all like oysters, mussels, lobster.
And you love all that.
Yeah. Oh shoot! I brought you a little gift actually, and it's
Oysters?
it's all PEI stuff, not oysters.
You brought me some raw oysters?
No.
That's very kind.
I brought you. Well, you'll see. It was maple syrup and this drink. I don't know if you've ever heard of Anna Green Gables.
The show? Yeah.
It's a book by
yeah.
someone.
It's a book that was made into a series.
Yeah. So
Michael Landon, I think, was in it, maybe.
I don't know.
He was a very foxy man back in the day. He
Oh.
passed away. God bless your soul, Michael
Aw.
Landon. Mhm.
Well, she's big in PEI. People come to PEI and like expect to see her, but she's a fictional character.
Anne of Green. I was gonna say, does she live there?
No.
That's where she lived. Was in the book.
Within the book, and then the writer Lucy Montgomery was from PEI. Anyways,
Claim
there's
to
this whole everyone loves Anne. Everything's Anne in PEI. So I brought you this raspberry cordial, which
That's
is
so
like something that
nice.
she used to drink in the book.
Thank
And then
you.
I brought cow chips, which another thing is this ice cream shop called Cows. It was one of my first jobs ever, and they have these potato chips covered in milk chocolate, and
Oh, heck
potatoes are like a huge thing in PEI too.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yum.
a PEI gift.
This sounds kind of like a paradise. Are you sure you want to leave?
It is paradise for 2 months of the year.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. But the rest of the time, no.
Seasonal depression.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. But my parents they're building this house on the water, so I'll always have somewhere to go, but for like not now.
Okay, I love that. So,
Yeah.
what is success to you?
Success is to have a big property that my dogs can run around. No, I just honestly, that's a really hard question because I have found lately, now that I'm like crossing things off, I just move on to the next thing, and I don't even take time to like soak in the fact that I've wanted these things forever. But success is just like being happy, doing what I love. If I could make an actual living where I don't have to think about my bills, doing what I love, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
And then, a mansion in Laguna Beach.
Just a few minor things.
I'd like it for it to happen while my parents are still able, you know, because I want them to see that 15 years of hard work.
So your career is like all consuming.
Yes.
That's the thing with being an artist. It
I
is
have
so
no other
hard
life.
to have any other life besides your career, especially
No.
when you're grinding it out. And especially since everything just clicked last year.
Yeah.
But like everything clicked last year.
Everything
went from
clicked.
like nothing to everything.
Yeah, and that was the hard part. I've always had a million jobs, and it was so depressing, like going to work as a server, a bartender, anything. I had a million jobs, but like, is it ever going to happen? Am I going to be a server forever?
So I could
It's
see why you get
hard.
very frustrated.
Yeah, and like super depressed, and had to have somebody to pull me out of it because there were so many times that I was like unwell. I actually wrote a whole album based on my mental health in my 20s.
Talk to me about that.
You can't find it anywhere because
Really?
I took it off. But
What was the concept of the songs?
so it was called The Basement Sessions, What I've Learned So Far. And I did it in my basement with my husband. My husband produced it. And I wrote all the songs by myself. And all the concepts were just being in your 20s. And in your 20s, you're finding yourself anyways. Even if you have a job at a bank, like you're still finding yourself. But finding yourself when you also need to like be a brand and chasing something that you have no idea if it's actually going to happen. And it costing so much to do. And working other jobs. And then in your 20s, you also want to have fun. And I was working in the service industry, and I would go out and drink every night and, you know, not do good things. So I stopped drinking for a while, and I wrote this album and went down a self-love route, listened to every podcast that's ever been made, read every book, self-help book. I actually never had been to therapy, but I was doing all the things I could every day to make myself better. And so I wrote songs that were like, Take Your Power Back. I wrote a song called Fight Till the End, Love Yourself, and I called it Mindful Music and Conscious Country.
Okay.
So it was kind of like a concept album of mindfulness.
Do you feel like that helped you?
Yeah, it was totally like a for me thing, because now I'm like, I'll have drinking songs, I'll have partying songs, and that was kind of like a phase of my 20s of like, how am I going to get through, you know, your 20s?
That is
doing
so
this?
true. 20s are brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, my 20s, I was chaotic, like all over the place, struggled with like self-worth, body image, same kind of thing. Am I really ever going to be anything? Like,
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to do something that's like there's no blueprint for.
Actually,
You
what
know?
triggered it all was I had really bad cystic acne for like a decade, like all of my 20s. And I was always trying to heal it naturally. And on stage, it was annoying because I'd look like, you know, the Rocky Mountains on my face when I had like all the makeup on it. And I was so self-conscious of it. And I would post pictures and I would Facetune the crap out of it. And then one day I just said, screw it. And I posted a picture of like my full face just being red and like telling people, hey, I've been lying to you. This is what I actually look like. And that was like the most freeing thing I've ever done.
Really?
Yeah. And that led me to just being more open about everything.
What was the feedback when you were
Obviously
honest?
all nice, like so supportive. And that opened up me just taking my audience and like making them like family and friends instead of like separate.
Instead of like, here I am all put together with a wall between us.
Yes. And I try to do that now. Like I still am a perfectionist. I was talking about like the guitar thing or singing raw. Like I still stop myself all the time of trying not to be a perfectionist. And one of my first posts this year, it was like me playing the bagpipes looking hideous in my bed. And I was like, I need to do more stuff like this. I think that people want to see like the perfect side of it because I'll see other artists look so glammed up all the time. Like Megan Maroney looks perfect all the time. Or, you know, all these artists. And I'm like, well, maybe that's just not my path. I need to show more of a vulnerable side and the real side. And every time I do, I get so many more comments of support.
How did you go viral?
When?
Have you just always been viral? Because like
No,
you like,
no.
went viral and then like didn't keep going. Like did Creek go viral?
I don't know. What is viral? Like,
I don't know. Like where you get like
I didn't go
hundreds of
dash a
thousands or-
viral. That's
Okay.
for sure. It's been just like steady. So first time I went viral, like over millions of views, was a song called Country Music because I
I
made
think
it.
that's viral. That's viral.
Oh,
That's
okay.
considered viral.
Well, that's good.
I mean-
I mean, it was like during TikTok, during like COVID. So
Mhm.
TikTok was easier.
Mm-hmm.
And then I rewrote a Morgan Wallen song, Sand on My Boots, from the female perspective. That went viral. And then my bagpipe, every time I posted this bagpipe video, I posted the same video like 10 times and it went viral every time. It just like I was like, it's reaching new people every time I post it. And Creek went viral because I was singing in the creek, my song Creek, and people were just like making jokes about calling me names of like famous people, but like country versions.
You did a reel about
Yeah.
that. What were some of the names they called you?
Like Avril Lavigne, and I can't even think of them. I have a terrible memory, but yeah, I did a whole video where I was reading like
The mean names.
tweets basically, but they weren't even that mean. Like they're so funny, and it creates engagement on the video, and it did really well, and it actually translated
Something
to
with
people.
farts. One of them was farts.
Oh, Dolly Parton.
Yeah,
maybe?
I think so.
It was fun. Like I love that kind of stuff. And then the second line of that song, "Catch You Like a Catfish,"
Mm-hmm.
I played at the Nashville Predators hockey game. Like they have the little band there, and they do this thing with a catfish. People throw catfish onto the ice, and so we planned. My manager is a big marketing guy. So we planned, hey, maybe we could do something with a fish. Like maybe I just kiss it or something. But I was singing that song. That was the last song of my set. And it's not on TV. Like it's just for the viewers in the arena. Usually when you play, like at that band stage. But they cut to real TV at the end of that song, Creek. And we planned to put beer in the dead catfish. And then I chugged out
Out of its mouth?
Yeah.
And like out of its gutty mouth?
Yeah, out of its gutty mouth.
Okay.
So my manager was a part of it. And he poured the beer into it, and then I chugged it. And
so it like went into the organs and then came back out when you drank it.
yeah, well,
Okay.
they gutted it though.
Yeah.
It was really clean,
Okay.
and I didn't taste it at all. And it instantly, like after I finished that song, it was on like ESPN, all of the sports televisions, and I went on Twitter right after my set, and it like had gone viral.
Is that fun to go viral?
Yeah, I guess.
Does
I mean,
it do anything? Does it change your life?
something like that, no, because
Yeah.
it's just like a PR stunt kind
Mhm.
of. But I appreciate it more. Like my song Red Wine or Whiskey did really well, where it like went viral-ish, not really, but it was at a point where people actually pressed and listened to the song, and it's not just like some funny thing
Mm-hmm.
where like people actually liked the song, so they went and streamed it. And I think that's the type of viral that you want to go.
Where they actually like listen to the music
Yeah.
and become a real fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's always the pressures of going viral. Like even with being with a label, they still expect the number one marketing tool is virality.
And you can't plan for that.
No.
And it's so fickle.
You can plan, but it doesn't always work. Like
Right.
we tried really hard with Nashville to make that like a viral hit. And maybe you can, but maybe we did it wrong, but you can't create a viral moment in my experience.
I agree.
Like it has to be organic
Mm-hmm.
because people can sniff out when it's not.
I love your journey. I mean, Allie, you have just like, I just love to see people who just like stay on the path, keep going. Cause like you never know when you're going to hit your year.
No.
You had 15 years of nothing really. And then all of a sudden everything
Yeah.
changed overnight.
Literally. Yeah. And I where I met my manager, I was not going to go because I was over it.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that I went, it was because as soon as you're about to give up is when it happens.
That is so true.
It's always when it happens. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for it, finally going like this instead of like this.
You have to have the moment or else, I mean, it's just so hard to withstand, but you're right. You just like right when you want to quit is when it happens, especially when
Yeah.
you've gone this long and you've got something, you're good.
Yeah.
It's just like, how long can you hang in there?
Well, and I'm too far in to give it up now.
Right.
That Haley Witter song, 12 years into 10-year town.
Yeah.
That hit me when I heard that song. I was like, oh my God, that's literally me. It's like, what else am I going to do?
Right. It's like
I'm too old.
right.
to
You've
go
committed
back.
too much.
Yes. I mean, every time I go home, my parents are still like, we'll still pay for you to go to university if you want to get a real job. I'm like, can you stop saying that? Like at this
Backpacks,
point.
you already got it in your back pocket. It's there.
Yeah. I wonder if they'd still give me the scholarship.
Okay, so tell everyone what to be looking forward to you, how to find you on tour, all your socials, all the things.
All the socials, ALLI, Allie Walker on all the things. I've got pretty much songs popping out every 6 weeks. So
The Gretchen song's out now, First Time Living. Everyone needs
Yeah.
to hear that. That is
Yeah.
so good.
beautiful song that makes me cry every time I listen to it because
Mhm.
she definitely did it justice.
It's you can feel it.
Yeah, but I'm ready to crank it up. I got 2 songs that were slow. My last 2 songs
You're
were
done.
slow.
We got our feelings out now.
I'm
Let's
ready
get
to
back
like get back to Creek vibes.
Okay. Okay. Allie, I love it so much. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you
You're
for
so
Oh wait,
much fun.
I forgot to tell you
Oh, tell me.
that I looked back at my podcasts, my Apple podcasts, and I was because I've listened to your podcast forever.
Thanks.
Yes, and the first one I listened to was 2016.
That's when I started.
Yeah, the first one was Cody Allen and Stormy Warren.
Stormy Warren.
Yeah,
That was my first year starting
and you
podcasting.
can see that I actually listened to it like at that time. So
Well, heck yeah.
when I was driving to my restaurant job, wanting to do this for a living, I was listening to you.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That makes me feel so good because
Yeah.
sometimes you're just like, I mean, I feel that with podcasting. Sometimes
Yeah.
I'm like,
Is anyone out
I'm just gonna quit. I mean, I know people are listening, but I'm also
They
like,
are.
yes, it's
one artist, because I love biographies and listening to people's story.
me too.
that,
That's my
like,
favorite.
If you're the one facilitating that can inspire lots of people.
I totally agree. I love to hear people's story because it's like your story. It's like, okay, you had 14 years of nothing, like wanting to give up. And then it's like all of a sudden you meet one person, everything changes. So
Yeah.
you've set yourself up for success. Just one door had to open.
Yes.
But it's having the patience to get to that one door, you know,
Oof.
and believing that it's going to come. And it's so
Yeah.
easy to give up. And it's,
I
especially
think
in this industry.
If you
so
just
hard.
like work harder than everybody else and you last longer, it's bound to happen.
Yeah. You know what? Rod Essig, who I don't know if he's still the head of CAA, a booking agency, he told me this a long time ago, but he was like, if you are talented and you don't quit, what you're saying, it will work out for you somehow.
Yeah.
Eventually. Because it has to.
It has
to
to.
collide.
Something has to go right. And
Eventually.
the universe is going to reward you
Agreed.
for the hard work you put in.
Which leads me to my last question. Leave your light, which is just some inspiration. What do you want people to know to leave them inspired?
I think just what we just said. Like, if you don't give up and you put in the hard work and you believe in yourself and you have at least one other person that can pick you up when you're down, you can make it happen.
Amen. Allie Walker, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you
This
for
was
having
so
me.
fun.
Yay.
Loved it. Okay, bye.
Bye.